Hey everyone, how you going? Hope you're having a good day. Today, I just had a customer bring in this little computer here. What this is a little HP proprietary mini desktop, and a lot of businesses buy these because they're generally a bit cheaper than buying a custom build PC. But there is drawbacks to buying these, and biggest one is that they use HP parts inside, so it's a HP motherboard, HP power supply, and they're not standard. They're usually unusual shape. Power supplies aren't standard, and as you can see, because of the small size, it's not going to be able to take standard like expansion cards and things like that. So, but I thought I'd just show you repairing one of these, and you'll get to see sort of firsthand inside and what can be problems. But the customer reports that it's for a business. Sorry, I should have mentioned that earlier. It's for a business. It's actually a medical center, and this computer is used by the bookkeeper. And they reported turning it on, and it won't go into Windows, and it says something about can't find a drive. So my first thoughts are that there's something wrong with the SSD that's probably in this. Either it's gone faulty or something's corrupted. But first things first, I wanted to open up and have a look inside it. And when he first brought it in, I swear I could hear something rattling around in it, but it's not doing it now. I'll come in a bit closer with the camera and I'll show you how this one opens.
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3.
Okay, so now you're a little bit closer and you should be able to see. So the way this one works is on the back here, there's one screw that you undo, and it's you just loosen it off, it doesn't fully come off. And then you just slide this off towards me, and it doesn't want to come off. So I'm gonna have to get a bit rough with it.
Why are these things always so hard to open?
Yeah. There we go. We're in. So now you should be able to see firsthand what I'm talking about when things aren't standard. This power is the power supply here. It's a very unusual shape. It's not a standard power supply. So if that failed, you'd have to go to HP to get the part. They're using a laptop DVD drive in here to make it all compact. Those are less custom, but they're still not that easy to get a hold of these days. I'm trying to see in there. I can just see it's underneath it. We'll have to get that out, but I'll zoom in on that spot and you'll be able to see dark in there so you can't see it. I'll light it up for you. So you can see in there there's actually 2 slots for memory, and they put one module, so they're not even giving you the dual channel. They make you run in single channel, which is less ideal. It makes it slower. So what I'll do now is I'll get this DVD cradle thing out of the way so we can have a look inside properly. That just slides forward and comes out. Usually you got to take the front little panel off, which is the case. What's going on here?
Why are these things always so hard to open?
Got it. So now you can start to see a bit more how the motherboard has this integrated front panel. So it's just like not a normal motherboard. It's got this piece on it. And then we push this button here, I believe. There's one on this side too. Yep, 2 buttons. push those and we can swing it out of the way. There's cables hooked on here. And there we go. We're in.
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
1 stick of RAM, single channel, and this is the drive right here, and I can read on there that it says it's an Optane drive, and that complicates things. So Optane drives are a technology that Intel doesn't support anymore as far as I know, but it was the idea of having a larger drive cached by a smaller drive to speed up read times and things like that. And I've been seeing a few of these lately where it's actually a small SSD built onto a large SSD, but it's all in the one M.2 package, and something goes wrong with the configuration of the Optane because it's essentially creating like a mini RAID, and something goes wrong and then you lose access to your data on the big drive because the link between the little drive and the big drive, something goes wrong with it. And when it comes to data recovery, it can be a little bit complicated when trying to deal with that. First things first, I might just get the drive out and make sure that it's actually detecting at all. But if it's set up in RAID, it's not going to show correctly. But you'll see what I'm talking about in a second when I have a look. I just want to see how much. So this is a single stick of 16 gig DDR4. I'm not sure why HP couldn't just put 2 8s in there to give it the extra performance. Cost cutting, I guess. But yeah, you can see clearly how the motherboard is all one piece for the USB ports, and so yeah, it's completely non-standard. You wouldn't be able to put this motherboard in a normal case. It would not work. You're completely at the mercy of HP when you have faults with this. About the only thing standard is the RAM, CPU and the SSD. Everything else is custom to HP. I might actually just try and turn it on, see what it does first, and then we'll look at the drive. Alright, so I'll hook it up and we'll have a look. Alright, I got this computer hooked up. So let's turn it on, if I can figure out how to turn it on. Okay. Because I don't have the front on it, I gotta use a screwdriver to push the button in. Alright, it's on. Okay, we have HP. Alright, and here's the problem they were talking about. Boot device not found. Please install operating system on your hard disk. Hard disk error. Run system diagnostics. Yeah, so it's not saying it can't find a drive, but it's saying there's no operating system, which is a red flag that the Optane RAID thing is broken. So what we'll do, it's going to reboot, and if you hit F10 on HPs, it usually gets you into the BIOS as you start to boot up. Yep, entering setup now. So it's come up with this hardware diagnostic menu. That's not what I was after. I wanted to go into the actual BIOS, so F10 obviously isn't the one for this, so maybe it's a different hotkey, because there's no point running, we know what's wrong. Oh, okay, it was F10, must have been it's trying to run a diagnostic first for some reason, I don't know why. Alright, we need to go down to, let's see, well, it's definitely not this, let's go advanced. Boot options maybe. There should be something about Optane, but there's nothing. Yeah, if you notice on this screen, it's only giving the option for network down the bottom here, so it's not seeing the drive at all. I might try doing that. I'm going to try F3 and see if that's, because I'm just trying to find the Intel Optane configuration to see if it knows it's got a problem. Trying F3 now. Ah, this is it. All right. We found it. They word it really weird sometimes. You just got to know. So we got Intel Rapid Storage Technology. This is where you can fix things, and it's claiming it's healthy. Okay, that's for the networking. That's not the drive. So that's not what we're after. We want this one. Yep. So it's saying incomplete Optane volume. So that's exactly what's happened. It's saying, yep, we've got the 500 gig drive, but it's not showing the small drive. That's not good. So the small drive's gone missing, and that's why it's not booting. Warning, this disk has one of two disks paired in Optane volume. Yeah, so this is the problem with Optane, is when you get a problem, if you try to put it back to non-Optane, you can lose everything, basically. All right, so before we do anything further with this computer, I'm going to get that drive out and put it into my test bench and see if I can read the data off it, and then recover any data I can before I do anything. And then I will probably have to call the customer and just say, hey, this is what's wrong with the drive. We're probably going to have to turn off the Optane, which will reset it, everything, and we're going to have to reload Windows unless I can get that Optane to work again, which is unlikely. So let's get that drive out. So there we go. It's just basically NVMe, but it's got two drives on it, basically, in a sense. I don't really fully understand. They used to run Optane like you'd have a small SSD like this, and then you'd have a mechanical drive, and then this would accelerate the mechanical. But I don't really get the idea of putting a little SSD and a big SSD on one thing. How does that speed anything up? I don't understand. Maybe someone in the comments can explain it to me, but I think it's kind of pointless because you're already hooking into the NVMe. Wouldn't that be fast enough? I don't know.
My brain hurts!
Alright, let's go plug this in my bench.
A few moments later.
Alright, it's in the bench, and now I'll just switch on the drive and we'll see what we can do. So I am not seeing the drive, so I'm going to fire up Disk Genius to see what we can see. It looks like Disk Genius is having trouble. Yep, here we go. Yeah, it didn't show up at all. It's just my current drive that's running this bench. It's a bit bright, sorry. Alright, so this is only showing my drive. I'm just going to try replugging it. Yeah, so it's only registering that my USB dock is turned on. It's not registering the drive itself, it's just not there, which indicates the drive is pretty much stuffed. We want to do disk manager. Yep, okay, so it is detecting the drive, but it's completely unknown, not initialized. It's weird that Disk Genius is not seeing it at all. Normally you would. Alright, I'm calling it. This is a faulty drive, but there's possibility I might be able to recover it if I will turn off the Optane. Possibly it'll work, but then it says it's going to wipe everything. But generally when it says that, it means you won't be able to boot. It doesn't mean a program like these RStudio or Disk Genius won't be able to recover the information. So, but I will talk to the customer first and inform them of the risks, and that as it currently stands, I can't get anywhere with this drive. So we're just going to have to speak to customer first, get permission to go further, and then that's how we will go. So I'll come back to you once I've spoken to the customer. We'll see what he says.
Much later.
All right, I'm back from talking to the customer. Customer says, yep, they believe they've got everything on OneDrive, so they're not massively concerned, but they were a little concerned that not everything was on OneDrive before it died. So he wants me to try to take it off the Optane setup. So that's what I'm about to do. So we're going to boot into that F3 menu, turn him on again. Oh yeah, we'll go to F3, go into the Optane controls, and we'll change the drive back to non-Optane. We'll just see if that works. All right, boom, incomplete Optane, incomplete disks, reset to non-Optane. Big warning, you're going to lose everything. Yes. Are you absolutely sure? No, but yes. It is now classed as non-RAID, not a part of it, so we should be working hopefully. We'll see if it'll boot off it now. Now that it's not trying to find that Optane, it may work, I don't know.
Nope.
And same deal, we've got boot device not found, same message we got earlier. Yep, so boot device not found. Please install operating system, hard drive, 3FO, run diagnostics. Same deal. Right, but the difference will be when I plug this into my test bench now to see whether we can actually view anything on the drive. So I'll get the drive out, plug it back in my bench, powering on, got a bing. Let's see, is there any drive? No drive coming up here. All right, Disk Genius. Let's see if Disk Genius can see anything.
Nope.
Yeah, and we have the same problem. It's not even seeing the drive whatsoever. It's just gone. All right, that pretty much confirms it. Hard drive's kaput, or the SSD. I keep saying hard drive, it's SSD's kaput. And yeah, it's just coming up unknown, doesn't know what it is. It's just screwed. It's not initialized. I'm going to try initializing it, see what happens. No, can't even do that. Yeah, this drive's dead. It's just failed completely. Good luck. The only way you're going to get data off it now is data recovery specialists who can use special software to read the drive in its error state, basically. So it's going to be new drive and reinstall Windows. This is going to be an expensive exercise because of costs. Let me just look up how much this is going to cost. In the meantime, you can watch a slideshow of some of my photos, which is what I do as a hobby. They are for sale if you ever want to buy some. So you had a 500 NVMe in there. So it's going to cost for a Crucial P310 $195. Holy crap.
What?
That's ridiculous for 500 gig. Holy dooly. All right. Well, I'll give him the wonderful news. I don't think he's going to like it, but hey, it's where we're at the moment. And see if he wants to proceed. And if he does, then we'll move to go get that, and then we'll load Windows back on and just set it up fresh, basically. All right. I will see you in a while. Once I've spoken and been shopping, probably. Okay, everyone. Computer's all repaired now. I bought a Crucial P310 500 gig SSD for a very overinflated price, but the customer agreed to it. Fitted that in immediately. The whole machine could see the drive. I was able to load Windows 11 fresh on it and get it all ready to go again. So 100% the Intel Optane NVMe had failed. I've had a few of them fail recently. I've had this is like the third one. So it looks like there's some kind of issue with these Optane drives that have been fitted in. So probably going to see more of them by the sound of it. And it does look like Windows 11 doesn't play nice with these Optane drives either. They seem to have trouble with it, because I think what's happening is because Intel doesn't do them anymore, and the support's gone, and now we're starting to have compatibility issues. So I think that's part of it as well. But this one's like hardware failure. I think the other two was the Optane system just didn't work, and I had to switch them back to normal, just like a normal SSD mode, and that fixed it. Whereas this one, it just completely dead, just nothing. So yeah, something to look out for if you're running Optane. You might want to switch your drive back to normal to make sure Windows doesn't have a hissy fit about it, maybe. Okay, well that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for watching to the end, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.